Welcome to the Jeff Fitzgerald Coaches Show, brought to you by 3B Outdoors. I'm Mike Downhour. With me, head football coach Jeff Fitzgerald. Coach, it's one of those games everybody's talking about. What a great game, and it was, but somebody had to lose. Doggone it, it was the Lions.
You know, we talk to our kids all the time about selling out, and when you do sell out and you lay it all on the line, then you'll have a chance to be successful. And obviously, it wasn't the outcome we wanted on the scoreboard, but we did gain a lot of confidence in the way that we played the game. You know, and the other thing that we've talked about in the past is play the game in a way that other people want to be on your team. And I feel like we did that.
I believe you did as well.
We played harder than them, we were more physical than them. It just did not come out on the scoreboard like we wanted it.
Taddy sent me the stats, final stats. Total yardage for Watchdog was 362, Neville was 357, so statistically, very, very close game, but it came down to likely penalties and maybe even field position. Talk a little bit about that.
It was very tough at the end of the game, you know, and field position. Everybody has a position on the field that they're supposed to be in, including officials.
Absolutely.
Coaches, players, everybody has a position on the field that they're supposed to be in. And if one person's out of position, well, it throws the entire thing off. And unfortunately, you know, we ran on the field a little bit early, but I mean, we're splitting hairs when you look at it. At the end of the game, DJ had already crossed the line. The official on the other side had signaled touchdown. Our extra point team runs on at that point, which is what we do all the time. Everybody does. It just so happened this one official was out of position and was running down the field and had to duck and dodge in between our extra point team running on. Then he tripped over his own feet and fell. That's the bottom line.
I saw that Phil Shaw.
Tons of video to prove it. So,
okay, well, I saw that Phil Shaw had to doctor his bobo. So
yeah, he had a little scrape. And then the celebration penalty at the end of the game, I'm still not real sure. Of course, there's celebration by everybody, but there was not excessive celebration. I just don't know. I can't figure that one out. And I've asked some other officials to help me understand it, and they can't figure it out. So, you know, it's just one of those things that's very unfortunate. Those things do happen. Obviously, it's happened in our favor in the past. It's happened not in our favor in the past, and so it happens both ways. But, you know, we're human and we're going to make errors. And, you know, obviously there was an error made at that moment in time, and so just one of those things that happened. But, you know, even still, despite the foolish penalty there that occurred, we still have an opportunity to make a stop, and we didn't make the stop. So, you know, and we also had an opportunity at the beginning of the game to not spot them 10 points and to go 3 and out, you know, like 3 series in a row. And so it's still a team effort. There's still some things that we've got to work on, that we've got to overcome and start correcting.
And after all of that, you still, on the last play of the game, had a shot.
Had a shot. That dude got a fingernail.
I saw it. I saw a photo of it.
He made a tremendous play. That young man made a tremendous play, and nobody can take that away from him. Boy, it was a heck of a play, and gave the Tigers a chance to win.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights.
Just going back and looking at it, I just put together a few clips that just to be able to see, you know, Jacoby Connor starting to come into his own.
I like the way he goes up and gets that ball.
He does. He goes up and gets it. And, you know, if you watch right here, we run what we call this scissors. And you can see that the number 1 and number 2 receivers, the outside guy is going to run a post. The inside guy runs a corner route. Basically, look, you know, it's like 2 scissors coming together. So we call this scissor routes. And here they go. And it gets guys twisted around and turned around. And then Jacoby makes a great catch and adds a few more yards at the end with a big run. You know, and then we're able to come back right after that, the next series, with a big turnover. Neville gets in the eye, and they've run the same play over and over out of the eye, where at that moment they're going to give it to that big fullback, H-back, the guy that's actually he's the young man that made the play at the end of the game. Very, very good football player. Plays a lot of positions for him: fullback, H-back, wide receiver, defensive back. And then Xavier Holden comes up with a big hit, gets that hat right on the ball, knocks it loose, and then you see the Lions are able to get that recovery. So that was that was a huge turning point in the game. And then at that point, we were able to come back with the ball then and drive it down the field. And Zach makes a good throw to none other than John Xavier Lewis, and who's able to bang it in for the score. So it was a hard hitting, hard fought game, and you see our guys swarming there. They make a good run at it, and you said we don't get the edge sealed, but as you can tell, if you'll watch here, this happened a lot.
He pushed
right
him
here.
inside.
He's going, well, he forces him inside, but watch what happens right here with this H-back tackling him.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So if you'll notice, that happened over and over and over, which makes it very difficult to stop that outside run, to be able to stop that toss play. And that was one of the things that happened again and again and again throughout the course of the game, and officials just never made the call. I don't know, the explanation was they told me, we're going to let them play. And we come back with a reverse. This is Jaden LeDent. Man, he is lightning fast. Mm-hmm. And boy, he turns the corner and gets the edge on. And this reverse was a big gain for us, 39-yard gain. And then we were able to come back in this same drive and punch it in for the score. Again, John Xavier Lewis, and we just kind of run our old bread and butter counter play, and he's able to bang it in for the score. And and I think John Xavier had 140-something yards rushing, and he earned every yard of it. Ran extremely hard. Big hit by Carl right here. Man, he always comes up with a big hit of the game, and at that point in the game, that was where the momentum really started shifting in our favor. Then we really started becoming more and more physical as the game went on, and the less that they liked it. We made an adjustment later in the game where we had started setting our front to their boundary, because they were a big sideline running team to their sideline, and so we set our front that way and we're able to come up. You can see these guys, we set the edge on their counter play and make a big stop in the backfield, and then we're able to come back, and this is the we actually put John Xavier at quarterback this game.
Well, I noticed we called it the wild line offense. Wasn't real sure what to call it, but it seemed to work well.
It was very well, and we had one play out of it, and we worked on that one play all throughout the past couple of weeks in practice, and you can see, man, he hits it hard. But I put this play on the highlights to just show how hard he was running.
Right.
And you can see, I mean, I don't know, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And he's still up.
The seventh man brought him down. I mean, what a dude that runs with heart, that just, man, has a lot of guts in the way that he plays the game of football. It's incredible. I was very proud of our offensive line throughout the course of the game. We had a couple of fourth down conversions, and here we are just moving the pile and able to force it in for a score there. So, man, very, very proud of our guys and the way that they played. And we've had some issues on the offensive line. I say some issues. We just had some learning curve, some things to overcome on that offensive line throughout this year. And these guys did a tremendous job of maintaining blocks and getting that push up front that was needed. And it showed. It showed. I mean, I think we rushed for close to 200 yards, and that's big, because Neville has not given up hardly any yardage all year long, with a couple of shutouts, and then we were able to put the most points on than anybody scored this year, and so that was big for us.
All right, well, it was a big game. So let's take a look at Union Parish coming up. We'll do that on the other side of the break. You're tuned in to the Jeff Fitzgerald Coaches Show. Welcome back to the Coaches Show with head football coach Jeff Fitzgerald, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Coach, I wanted to, before we look at Union Parish, let's talk again real quick about that offense with Sean Xavier at quarterback. It's a wildcat, wild lion, whatever. It seemed to work very well, and your thoughts on it in the future?
You know, it's definitely something that we're going to continue to use in the future and just add to it. And the good thing is the blocking scheme does not change, you know, as far as us up front. It's just a matter of him being able to take that snap. And, you know, it's easier to receive a handoff than it is to take that snap and then to have to follow through with a fake or a read or anything that comes off of that. And so, I mean, it's challenging, and it's just, again, it's that learning curve of experience. It's something that, it does work, and it's something that you can't rush, and it just takes time.
All right, Union Parish. Tell us about Union Parish real quick. Offensively, what do we expect? And defensively, you know, from a team that the Lions have never played before?
You know, you got the story of David and Goliath in the Bible, and I think Goliath was a Philistine, but he may have been from Union Parish.
Cornfed. Okay, got you.
They are massive. They are massive. And I mean, they are the largest team I think I've seen in a long time. They're 6'4" wide receiver, 6'4", 6'5", 6'4". They're 6'6", 6'5", 6'4", 6'3", 6'5" on the offensive line. Large, 6'1", 6'2" running backs. Their quarterback is the smallest dude on the field, and he looks like he is a bodybuilder. He is yoked up.
Goodness.
But he's 5'9", maybe 5'10" if you stretch him a little bit. But they're a large football team. They're extremely athletic, extremely physical. They scrimmaged Neville early in the year and really got after them. And then we have a common opponent in them, and also Airline.
Right.
They made some foolish mistakes against Airline. Otherwise, it's a close ball game. I mean, they're going to play a couple of big teams a year. They beat Evangel in a jamboree, beat the mess out of them, and then had an opportunity to beat Airline, but turned the ball over several times against them. And otherwise, it was a really, really close game. Coach Spatafore does a tremendous job of coaching his guys up and getting them playing with that chip on their shoulder and being an extremely physical football team. They're going to line up, and it's a smash mouth game. They will throw the ball some, and we'll look at some of that. But you know, as far as the offensive league, they're very simple in what they do. They love to run the counter, and they're going to run counter with the quarterback. They're going to run counter with the running back, and then they'll run some sweeps the other way. Kind of some student body type sweeps with the quarterback and running back leading, but very, very simple. They'll be in a trips formation with an up tight end and in the gun most of the time, and give some similar formations that we give, but they're very, very good at what they do.
What about defensively?
Defensively, they're a 3-4/50. They're going to line up that three-man front. 5 in the box with those 2 walk-up guys on the edge to build that 7-man box, and then they play extremely hard defensively. They line up basically the same every time, so they're good little boys, so to speak, when it comes to lining up, because they do line up. You know where they're going to line up, but the thing about that is when teams just are that simple, they're usually really good at what they do, and they are very, very good at what they do. And so they're going to play hard, they're going to play fast, they're going to play physical. You know, and being on their home field, they're excited, and Coach Spatafore is going to have these guys all juiced up and geeked up, ready to play, and they're going to come out getting it.
I noticed last Friday night a lot of heat issues, cramping late in the game. This week's going to be no different. How did your team come out of this Neville game?
You know, when we play as hard as we can, those issues are going to occur. I really like, I don't like that our kids are cramping, but I enjoy the fact that we're playing hard enough to cramp up.
Right.
And I think that's a big thing. It's definitely going to play an issue every week. At that point, you know, your conditioning comes into play, your strength training comes into play, and then obviously having a little bit of depth at some positions, being able to switch guys in and out comes into play. That's one area that we do have a little bit more depth than Union does. And but they've got a very, very good football team, and They've got a couple of guys that play both ways, but for the most part, they're one-way players, and their depth is at running back, and we've got a little bit of depth there, but we also have some depth at some linemen as well.
For the Lions to win tonight, you want your team to do what?
We've got to play physical. We've got to play fast, physical football. We cannot have a letdown, and we've got to pick up where we left off last week with playing hard-nosed, Washington line football.
All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights.
When you look at Union, you can just see the size at these guys at receiver, and this is that trips formation. They kind of are backed up here, but this is one of their passing plays that they'll run, just a little sprint out. And you can see this is against a very, very good football team in Manny. And then this is that counter we was talking about with the quarterback. Their quarterback's an extremely hard runner, physical. You can see he likes contact right there.
And with big guys like that leading the way.
Yep, and here's that speed sweep I was telling you. The guy's able to turn the corner and get a big gain out of it. They see that they're going to come back with the fake the speed sweep and then hit that quarterback counter again off the edge. Another little rollout. And you can see they got speed. These are 5-yard passes that they're throwing, that they're turning into 40-yard, 50-yard gains. See them against airline. You can see they line up in that 3-4, those two walk-up guys. And you can see that their team speed and how they swarm the football and play right there. Again, you can see how physical, how physical that they play.
Well,
so
this is going to be a little different, going to a school we've never played before and to a brand new stadium. It looks like it's been completely remade. Looks like it's a turf field.
No, it's grass.
It's grass? Okay.
It's grass. It is grass. We've been practicing on grass all week and trying to prepare for it and get ready. But new environment, ought to be exciting, and playing in a new venue. So
the place to be in Union Parish.
Absolutely the place to be.
All right, Coach, good luck in tonight's game.
Thank you.
You've been tuned into the Jeff Fitzgerald Coaches Show. This is being brought to you by RE/MAX Realtors, Lego McGuffey.